circle and a breaststroke. Stretching back and reach and stretch. Reach and stretch, and let your arms drop. Tighten the seat. Arms to the sides. Let's lean over and reach up and center and lean and reach and center. Both arms overhead, and we'll alternate a firm reach to the ceiling. We're going to bring the arms out and legs out a little. A breath in. As you breathe out, fall to the floor. Bend one leg and straighten. And bend the other leg and straighten. Working to stretch the back of the thigh. Bend, straighten, and bend, straighten. And now take the arms in a big circle. A big strengthener for the trunk. And when you get down to the floor, circle the other direction. Then open and close the hands as you come up. And out to the sides. Legs in a little. Circle in the wrists one way, other way. And let's drop and circle, and again, drop and coming around. Both arms pulling back with your elbows, and then alternate to warm up in the upper body. We're getting ready to lunge forward. So your chair is here to the flat foot lunge. Bend both knees, reach up and stretch, stretch, and impulse. And we'll sweep the arms back to come back. Other side, lunging forward, chair's there if you need it. Sweep the arms up and stretch, stretch, stretch. And we'll swing down as we step back. And a breath in and a breath out. Okay, so let's practice a few things for balance. So your chair's there if you need it. Let's try a lift, hit your knee, halfway down, a lift, a tap, a lift, a tap, and let's go to the other side. All the while, trying to keep that very straight upper back, especially. So do some balancing on one leg as we lift and touch, and lift and touch. And chairs close by, in case you need it. We're gonna do some movement of the leg, front, side, back, and then just let it swing through, front, side, back, and let's swing through, and then just bring it back to the floor. And then make sure you've got some clearance, and we'll do it on the other side. That front, side, back, and just swing to the front, front. So really using the hip muscles and really working on balance, and swing through, and then we'll bring it down. Let's go ahead and bring the arms overhead, a breath in. And as you breathe out, let's go to the side, a breath in, reach up, a breath out to the other side, and in again. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bring the hands down and circle back. And now I'm going to talk about some things we're going to do with the bench. So one thing we'll be doing is the bench will be in front of you if you have one, and the chair We'll be kind of standing toward the end. The chair will be right here. And we're going to do some movements where you step forward and onto the bench, touch, back to the floor. Other leg, forward, touch the bench, back to the floor. A front and touch, back to the floor. A front and touch, back to the floor. Front, touch, back to the floor. Kind of a flow. And then we might change it to some other things we've done before, but they require a little more balance. A step, lift, back to the floor. A step, lift, back to the floor. Step and lift, back to the floor, and a step, lift, back to the floor. And the last thing in this position, let's try a mule kick, which is a straight leg kick to the back. So a step, a mule kick, and back to the floor. Step, a mule kick, back to the floor. So it's a similar thing, just that leg doing an extra movement. Mule kick, back to the floor. And take a breath in, a breath out. Before we go to the bench, here's a little fun thing to try, bringing the hands up. We'll try one knee lift and elbow toward the knee, and then the other side, a knee lift, elbow over. Just thinking of that being on one leg, but really strengthening in the hip and the abdomen with that kind of a crunching movement forward, trying to touch that elbow to the knee. And then we can just bring the hands out, a breath in and a breath out. And then if you have a bench, I'm just going to bring it right over here and next to your chair. And we'll repeat that. So if you don't have a bench, you're doing just like we did before. But if you have a bench, what we want to do is you want to bring your whole flat foot onto the bench. So not on the edge, but right on the bench. We'll step up, we'll give a touch, and then back to the floor, and then back to the floor. And then we'll step up with the other leg, a step, chair's there, use it if you need it, touch, back to the floor. And a step, touch, back to the floor, a step, touch, back to the floor. So kind of introducing an uneven surface to walk on, just a little bit more challenge for coordination and balance. Let's take a breath in. Also makes it more aerobic because every step you're also lifting your full body weight. Let's vary that a little. We'll do a step. Remember to have your chair there, a knee lift, and then back to the floor and down, other leg, step, knee lift, back to the floor. And so that foot going first is very important, right on the bench, the full foot, lift, back and down, and a step, lift, back and down, and a breath in, and a breath out. And then this one is a little trickier, the kick to the back. So try having a light touch on the chair right at first, flat foot, mule kick, back and down, a step, that mule kick, back and down. We'll do a couple more, step, a mule kick, back and down, and up, a mule kick, back and down. A breath in, a breath out. And then we're going to turn this 90 degrees. And we're going to bring the chair, if you have it, right in front. So with or without a bench, you're standing right behind the chair. And I'm going to move my chair so you can see my feet. But what we're going to do is you would have your chair in front of you. You're going to stand on the bench with both feet. And we're going to try some side to side movement. And that just works on the hips in a different way. The benches are also strongly recommended for bone density of the hips because of that stepping up and down is very good for bone density. So we're going to start the sideways one. We're going to step and then back on the bench and together. Side, bench, together. A side, bench, together. A side, bench, together. Now, same basic move, side, how about a little more of a lift? And back to the bench, together, side, lift, back, together, side, lift, back, together. Let's take a breath in, a breath out, standing on the bench. And let's step off to one side of the bench and we'll do side lunges. Side lunges are valuable no matter what. So, but we're just gonna use the bench as something to step over. So your chair's there in case you might need it, but we're gonna step over the bench and off to the side, doing a side lunge. And then we are going to step back. So practicing that kind of movement where you're stepping over something instead of pretending, but in actuality. Seat back, chest forward, and then we'll come back together. We'll step over and back, getting those side lunges that are so important for bone density. This time we're going to stay on that side. So we'll step over and make sure you have room for your other foot to come over. So I'm going to take a bit wider lunge because I'm going to lift this foot over to this side. And now I'm going to do some lunges back and forth the other direction. Give my body the chance to practice that. If you've scooted back, you might want to scoot forward just so your chair's close by. And let's come over and do that side lunge. It's much more work for the hip muscles and then more focus on bone density if you really keep the back flat, but stick the seat back and the chest forward. And we'll come back and over and back and over and seat out, chest forward, over and back. And then we're going to try this to the other side where we take a fairly good sized lunge over, make room for your foot, other foot right here, and we'll bring this foot over like that. And then a breath in and a breath out. And then let's go ahead and set those aside. Done with these for today, but you can, I think, start to see all the possibilities as it gets higher. When we start to add height, just start to really get a lot of strengthening and focused work on the hips and thighs. Okay, let's take a breath in and a breath out. And now we're going to get our impacts in before we sit down. So we're going to do a good old-fashioned march. We're going to start with the pedal, double time. and a jog or a pedal. Let's go. Higher knees. A little more impact, definitely more strength and more aerobic. Back to your regular jog. Breath in, breath out. Now we want to go to a seat kick with the jog. Getting the back of the thighs, strengthening. A few more. We're gonna add our stomps a little more forcefully into the floor, kind of like you're trying to push a hole into your floor. And we'll double. Heels. And rock forward and back. In front, back, sideways, and the other direction. Just staying on the heels. You want to feel tired in the front of your shin. And then we'll go flat feet, toes out, toes in. Really feel your stomach contract with that. We're going to step and hop, stomp and hop, stomp, hop, stomp, hop, stomp, hop. Feet together. Let's go step, back together, step, back together, step, back together, step, step. Over to one side, lunge, down and up, lunge. Feet together, out to the other side. And let's come together. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. And we'll get our chairs. Okay, and let's stand in front of the chairs. Okay. Let's say a sentence backwards. We'll stick our seat out behind us, bend the knees, touch your chair. We're going to slowly sit. You probably don't have to really look forward so much right now. You can let your neck be straight. So you kind of gaze toward the floor in the distance. And let's say, blue skies are beautiful. Backwards. Blue skies are beautiful backwards as we sit. Beautiful are skies blue. It even makes sense backwards. A breath in and a breath out. And let's go ahead and chest forward. Only use your hands if you need to. And we'll stand up, really using core strength, especially the front of the body and thigh strength. Okay, let's say sunshine and blue skies are beautiful backwards. So here we go. We'll stick the seat out. We'll come part way down. So beautiful are skies blue and sunshine, and slowly sit. We'll bring our hands here. Feel the belly contract, just lifting the arms. And we'll come up, a breath in A breath out. And we're going to bring the arms back. So to activate the upper body. And let's stick the seat out, bend the knees, and let's just spell sunshine backwards as we sit. So N-I-E-N-I-H-S-N-U-S and down. Okay, not too difficult. A breath in, a breath out, and we'll come halfway forward in the chair. Let's see. And we'll take our shoes off. Okay, and we're gonna use some music to do some movements. And we'll be starting, we can just follow along, but we'll be starting with some movements, some toe rises with changing to toes out, toes in, and then we'll be turning to the side for a little variety. Let's turn to the left first when we turn, and we'll just turn to the side, and let's do one backward arm circle. And we'll do some exercises from the side. So you may want to decide at this point, I think I'm going to turn my chair at a little bit of an angle so I'm able to see better. Okay. And let's go back to the center. We'll do some other exercises, and after a while, we'll turn quickly to the other direction. And when we do, at that time, you may want to angle your chair a little toward me. Let's open and close. And let's go ahead. We do want to, while we're side sitting like this, to rotate sideways, touch your opposite shoulder. Follow your hand with your eyes and bring your hand behind you. Just in this position, you get such a good full movement. Watch your hand touch your shoulder and around to the back. So, you know, your neck and your entire back taking in that rotation. Let's drop the arm and swing. And let's go ahead and come to the center. Let's go to the other side again. Practice another exercise, a great stretch. So this one, your hand comes forward on the chair. The other hand could be on the back, and we just slide the foot back. And then lift the heart. So if you lean forward, you get an absence of stretch. But if you stay up straight, you get plenty of stretch, the front of the thigh and the hips. And relax the knee, and then press the heel back, partially straighten the knee, and relax. Let's go to the other side. So a lot of movement in the chair. Hand to the front corner, sliding back, and partially straightening the knee, heart's lifted. Relax the knee for a minute, and then push the heel back and straighten again. You get that really good thigh stretch. Let's come back to the center. Okay, we'll use an arm circle with a breath in and a breath out. And I'll add some music, some very good jazz, just one of my favorite songs to use. Chet Baker. So circle the shoulders back and shrug. Now we're gonna cross the ankle over the knee, cross. Sit up straight. We're gonna circle the ankle and circle the other way. And lift to the floor, other side, lift. Getting up straight, and we'll circle that ankle again. So we're going to stretch and relax that hip as we get that full mobility of the ankle. And down, we're going to come up, toes out, raising, toes in, up and down, out, raise, down and in. Getting ready for that turn. Backward arm circle. One more of those. That full motion, stretching the ribs and the shoulder. We're going to open and close in the hand. And then we'll circle in the wrist one way and the other way. And then let's rotate opposite shoulder. Watching the hands, we just flow with that movement around opposite shoulder and to the back, hand down, slide back, try to straighten the knee and relax, keeping the heart lifted, heel back, straight knee, and we'll come to the center. Flat back, leaning down, and curl up, unroll, and again, leaning down, and curl. Getting ready to turn to the other side, turn. Arm circle, around, one more. Getting ready for the full opening of the hand. So open and close, out to the side, and then we'll circle in the wrist twice each direction, the other way, and rotating the whole body. Touch your opposite shoulder, and to the back, and opposite shoulder, to the back, and to the front corner. Slide your foot back, straighten the knee, lift the heart, relax, and straighten, relax. We go to the front, lean down, curl up, unroll. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take a breath in and a breath out. And we're going to go to some stomach exercises and something for the wrists. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with hanging on to the seat of the chair, sliding your seat way out to the front edge so your hands end up kind of at the corners of the chair. Your feet come out. And then kind of lift the heart straight back and straighten the elbows and feel some light pressure into the palm of your hands. And if your body, especially your upper extremities, are okay with a lot of pressure, you can just slide your seat off the end. And then you're getting a lot of bone force. And we could add some upper body strengthening. If you're able to come forward, we'll just bend as we lower and raise and lower and raise. So, do you have any idea what muscle this is? Largely in the arm, I guess it would be back of the upper arm, which is triceps. Let's open and close and circle in the wrist one way and then the other way. Let's bring the heels of the hand together, kind of getting this kind of stretch. So it's not my palms, it's the back of my hands. I'm going side to side. Then I can switch that. And now it's palms going side to side. Just thinking of that pressure. Okay, and let's go to the ball of the foot. Again, reach back and hold on to your chair. And this is, you get the shoulders back, get the wide shoulders and the extremely upright posture. And I'm on the ball of one foot. I'm going to stretch my hip coming out and into touch and coming out and into touch. And then I'm going to go to the other leg. So that's stretching, sliding and gliding in the hip joint. Part of stretching muscles and part of moving in the joint itself to keep the hips healthy. Okay, should be way out on the front edge of the chair. Let's clench the belly. Let's bring the hands here for our first sit-ups. So leaning back and lifting up. We'll just come to neutral. We're going to turn one way and turn the other way, and then to the front and going back. So we're getting a combination of muscles, and a turn, and a turn. And then we might move the hands up here, so you have more weight for your abdomen to support. Back, and a lift, and a turn, turning to each side, and a turn, and we're going to add a crunch to the side, pulling your elbow in, and a crunch, and leaning back, tight belly, coming up, and a turn, and a turn, and a crunch, and a crunch. We're going to bring the hands out. So we're way out on the front of the chair. Maybe widen the feet a little for security, because we're going to do a lean, and a lean, and a lean, and a lean, as a way of really strengthening all this combination of movements through the midsection. And a lean, and a lean. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. Okay, we'll bring the hands here again, bring the feet in some, and we'll go back. We'll do it leaning back, we'll lift, and let's go ahead and lean forward to stretch the back before we lean back again. And coming up, straight back, clenched belly, and we'll come back. We're going to bring the hands down, and we're going to straighten both legs. And so we keep our feet pretty close together. The knees are very straight, and we're going to do a belly breath, breathing into the belly. Compress the belly to force the air out through your mouth. And we lift 4 inches, and we're going to do a scissors movement. We're going to start slow. Relax your neck by jostling your head a little, and then we're going to go fast. We'll slow it down, and we'll come down. Another belly breath into the belly. Compress the belly, force the air out. And we're going to lift. We're going to bend one knee up and back out. The other knee up and back out. What we want to do is one knee up and then grab it. Makes it a little easier for the muscles. Other knee up and grab. We'll jostle and relax. And then clench the belly and let go. If you need a little support, you could hold on to your legs somewhere. And we're going to go the frog legs. We're rotating in the hip, using the belly and the hip muscles at the same time, which is one of the best ways to stabilize the low back and work on the core. Let's grab again. Give a pull. Let your head fall forward. Let your low back relax. And then looking forward again, clench the belly. We're going to let go, and we're going to slowly lower. So we're coming down very lightly onto the floor. And then hold on to your chair. We're going to widen the feet. And we're going to rotate in the hips and the low back. So let your knees fall. Let this hip come off of the chair. So you're rotating even in the back. We'll come to the center and knees fall to the other side. And we'll come back to the center. Okay. Clench the belly. Let's see if we can kind of bounce the legs in, bounce the legs out, and bounce the legs in, and bounce the legs out. Coming back in. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. And then in this position, clench your belly, relax the neck. We're just gonna kind of swing in one leg, working on that knee joint, one side at a time. Let's bring that down. Clench the belly again, a little lift, and get that easy swing for the knee joint, and thinking of fully straightening, a little extra kick at the end to fully straighten the knee. It's really for the health of the knee. Okay, now we'll bring our hands across here, clench the belly, and sit up. Scooch back in your chair a little bit. Let's reach up, reach up. Wanting to stretch. And arms to the sides, and we'll lean over and reach up and to the center, and leaning over and reaching up into the center. And we're going to hug each leg, leaning over. Let your base fall right towards your knee. Wrap your arms around behind your upper leg and give a pull. And then stay leaning over and bring the arms out wide to the sides in a T. And we'll lift up and twist to the other leg and take a slow stretch on that side. Arms behind the knee, giving a pull, face falling towards your knee. And then we'll bring the arms wide and lift up. And a breath in and a breath out. Okay, and we're gonna move on to the weights. So if you're not gonna stay, we're gonna do lots of lunges and plies with the weights. If you're gonna go, take your 5 deep breaths now. If you're gonna stay, we're gonna move our chairs out of the way. We'll stand up. Actually, we're going to put our weights down for a minute. And we'll do a little more warm up of the arms. So let's go ahead. We'll just bend the knees, swing the arms up and back. We're pretty warmed up. You can get some pretty good motion with this. And then let's go ahead and go side to side. So a different type of motion. Listen, knee bend and the arms moving. And then let's go to this type of movement, elbows at your side, shoulders wide, where we slowly speed up. You could bend your knees slightly, contract your seat, contract your urinary muscles, and speed up till you're going as fast as you can with this chopping motion. Thumbs are toward the ceiling, palms are open. Slow it down. Breathe. And we're going to straighten the arms to change the muscles to the shoulder muscles. Bend the knees a little, contract the belly, contract the seat, and slowly speed up until you're drumming as fast as you can. Palms are open, thumbs toward the ceiling. And we'll slow it down and breathe. Let's take a breath in, a breath out, and let's bring the arms to the sides, and we'll do a knee lift as we rotate in the shoulder joints. Doing this is a rotator cuff muscle strengthener with some balance work. And then let's go ahead now and get our weights. And we'll drop them to the sides. Let's do a shoulder circle while we're holding the weights. That lift, doing a backward circle to the back and down, and a lift to the back and down. And then we're going to bring the weights up to the chest, and we're going to do that ice cream cone type of maneuver where we circle in the upper body with these weights. Try to be sure you go at least as slow as I'm going, so the weights are not having much momentum. Your muscles are having to control that. Let's go the other way. So I even lean back to the side, to the front, really having my trunk muscles move my upper body, which is now heavier because I'm holding those weights. I'm going to go to one side, to the center, and you could go overhead with one weight or two weights, depending on how much weight you want as we go side to side. So this also makes your upper body heavier, making your trunk muscles work harder to control all of that weight. And over, and let's bring the hands down here. And we're just going to hold the weights here. We're going to bend and circle the knees, and then the other way. So working on actually a little knee flexibility and strength with that. And then we'll go into some of our lunging. So now we'd like to do a forward lunge. So we can drop these, and we want to come forward to a flat foot, forward lunge, and then we'll bend both knees and impulse. Both feet should face straight ahead, wide shoulders. Shoulders should stay over the hips. And if you're able to use your peripheral vision to glance down, you should still be able to see your front toes. If not, you give a push. That pushes the knee back a little bit so you can see your toes to get all the alignment correct. Okay, we're going to bring one hand up, elbow kind of up by your head, and we're just going to push straight up toward the ceiling, working on the back of the upper arm. This is one of the ways we work on that triceps muscle. And let's bring this down like that. We'll bring this elbow up. So really holding that lunge for a long time, pressing toward the ceiling. The elbow, the upper arm, stays right next to your head as the weight goes behind your head. And we'll bend, and then just go ahead and bring that elbow down. And then let's go ahead and come back to our standing position. Breath in with the shoulder circle, and a breath out. And let's go ahead, now we'll do a forward lunge with the other leg to a flat foot, forward lunge, and some impulses on this leg. Feet straight ahead, shoulders right over the hips. So you're really facing straight forward. And we're gonna do some overhead movement on this side. So the palms are gonna face in. We're gonna bring to the shoulders and overhead and back to the shoulders and down. And we're gonna do that nice and slow. So the weights don't develop any momentum on their own because your muscles are always breaking. So you're having all that sustained force on your muscles as you move to get the full benefit. And up, and overhead, and down. And then we'll go back and bring the foot back in. And then a breath in and a breath out. Let's do a side lunge. And with that, we'll do a row and a leg lift. So you may need to, for space considerations, step a little to the side. We're going to do, just like we're stepping over the bench, up and to the side, seat back, chest forward. And we're going to do pulling the elbows right toward the ceiling and lower. And then we'll do a leg lift of the straight leg up and down. Elbows toward the ceiling and slowly down. A lift and down. Elbow pull and lower and a lift and down. Elbow pull, little pause, really getting the muscles between the shoulder blades and the leg lift. And then let's go ahead and step that leg back over. Let's bend both knees. Let's do 2 knee circles one direction and 2 knee circles the other direction. And then we want to lunge the other direction. So let's go ahead. We'll lunge across the room or your area. And then we're going to do a lunge in the other direction. So that lift, like you're stepping over the bench, and that alignment so that your hip and your shoulder are all right over your foot. And then we stick the seat out a little and we let the weights drop, and then we pull the elbows back. Now this time with your elbows up, let's try that leg lift and slowly lower. Pulling up, hold, hold, hold for the shoulder muscles, a lift and lower. Belly contracted, lift the elbows, lift the foot, slowly down and lift the elbow, lift the foot and slowly down. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we'll straighten up some and we'll lunge back over to that side. Let's relax the hips a bit by circling in that hula hoop type movement where you go and really let the hips push to the back, to the sides, since that's where you get the stretch. Bring the hips behind and then change direction on that. Okay, now we want to go to a backward lunge. So coming forward where you have some room to lunge backward. So we'll lunge back to the ball of the foot. So that's stepping back, and then we bend to both knees. What we're going to try is a little leg kick with the back leg. See if you can come forward and give a little kick and a second kick. And then we're going to turn the palms forward and keeping your elbows in. We're going to do this elbow bend, bringing the waist to the shoulder, a pause, slow lowering. So don't let the weights add momentum. A slow lift and down. Let's lift, hold, let's kick again. twice. Okay, and as we lower, let's step back. Oh, step forward. And we're gonna do a backward lunge on the other leg. So that backward lunge, reaching back to the ball of the foot. We're gonna do a few kicks. And then palms forward, elbows in, and come to the shoulders and down. All of that nice and slow. Trying to keep your muscle under tension the whole time rather than using the momentum of the weights. This is for muscle building. I need to do it that way. Let's give a few more kicks. And then let's step back. And we're going to go to a plie position, separating the feet, toes out, knees out,